Hi everyone, I'm Allison and I'm going to share with you my story of how small groups at Journeys have helped me. Even before COVID hit, the start of 2020 was bad for me. We're talking boyfriend broke up with me on New Year's Eve via email bad. We were supposed to be moving in together this year and blending our families, and here I was instead crying uncontrollably on the bathroom floor. Completely devastated, sobbing tears, makeup running, nose running, ugly cry. I eventually picked myself up off that bathroom floor and I made a promise to myself that I was going to take charge of my life and I was never going to let another person's decisions put me crying on a bathroom floor ever again. Since it was the start of a new year, I got the idea to make a vision board. So I wrote down all the thoughts that came to my mind about what I envisioned for my life. Now, some of these things I wrote down, they were far-fetched, idyllic ideas, but I was shooting for the stars. I had two big goals. As a single mom, my first was to have a stable forever home for my 8-year-old son and I, one where we could feel safe and make many memories together for years to come. The vision in my head was picture perfect and nothing I was anywhere near close to achieving in life. My second big goal was to somehow grow our family. My son and I live here in Maryland alone, and we've both talked about this desire in our hearts to have a large family and to have that controlled chaos surrounding us. I had absolutely no idea how on earth I would ever make that goal happen, but I wrote it down anyways. On my vision board, I also thought about little things I could do to make those big goals happen. So I wrote down small things like traveling to spend time with family and joining activities in the community. And the most important thing on my vision board was saying yes to any opportunity that came my way. I was not going to let myself come up with an excuse for not joining something. I was going to say yes to every invitation I got. Now, prior to all this, I was the person who sat in the back of church all by myself, never talking to anyone. And oddly, I would find myself crying during almost every single service. I very much needed something more. During service one day, they spoke about small groups, and I thought to myself, well, Allison, you wrote down on your vision board that you were going to say yes to every opportunity that came your way, so it looks like you're joining a small group. I went home, I scrolled through the list of groups, I found one on parenting, and I thought, well, I'm a parent, so there's no reason to feel like I won't fit in. I'll admit I was nervous going into my first small group, but I connected with the other parents right away and I learned new parenting techniques, and I found myself wanting to go back each week. And when that group was over, by this time, COVID had hit. I had been furloughed at my job. I didn't know where my son and I were going to live. And it seemed like those goals on my vision board, they were getting further and further away. But I knew in my heart, if I wanted change, I had to keep putting myself out there. I had to keep joining small groups and staying close to God through all this. So I scrolled through the list a second time and I found one called Divorce Care, and I'm divorced, so I signed up. And in that group, I met so many amazing people with all sorts of different stories that it helped me have a new view on relationships. And the gentleman who leads that group, he's helped to pull me further outside of my shell, which has led me to joining other things. And it was at a small barbecue gathering that he put together where I met two other ladies from Journeys who were forming another new small group called Blessings from Brokenness. And, well, I was clearly broken, definitely needed more blessings. So I thought back to that vision board once again and I said, sign me up. And in that group, I met ladies with such warmth and compassion that I learned I could let my guard down in small groups, for there's never a fear of judgment. Every week I would join the Zoom calls and talk and laugh and cry and pray, and in the end I always felt better. I always left feeling like I wasn't alone in life. I left those small group calls knowing God was with me. And so it continues. One group leads to another group, which leads to friendships, which leads to inspiration, which leads to prayer, which leads to my heart being closer to God than ever before. And wouldn't you know it, we are now in October. Just 10 months have passed since I created that vision board and joined my first small group. And I can proudly say I now have that very home that I dreamed about for my son and I. We bought a home and we're living the very life I thought was impossible just 10 short months ago. I'm also now in the process deep breath of completing my certification to become a foster parent. Because even though life, it may not have turned out the way I originally envisioned with the chaos of a big family, God's leading me down a different path to help children living in chaos. All the wonderful people I've met in small groups at Journeys, they've all inspired me to never give up. Never give up on myself, never give up on my talents, never give up on my faith, never give up on prayer, and most importantly, never give up on God. And to think all of this happened because I simply said yes to joining a small group at Journeys. So what do you have to lose? Join a small group. Say yes like I did. See where life takes you. See where God takes you.